So I welcome all of you to today's class. It's amazing. I really like the way you all did your assignments. For those of you that did not do your assignments, you think you are doing me. Okay. So I want to especially appreciate Joy for what she did. That was exactly what we were supposed to do. All right. So um there's no point solving the assignment anymore, so we'll just jump into today's class. Today's class is going to be short. It's supposed to be long actually, but I'm going to break it into 3 different classes so that I don't bombard you with too much concept that you struggle to understand. So I love the way we are taking it slowly, the way we handled this particular referencing in a day, and you were able to grasp it, and then you can use it even when if you just wake up and it's okay, please use self-referencing to do this, you'll be able to quickly do it without thinking too much. So today we are going to be talking about functions and formulas. Functions and formulas in Excel. All right. So this is like the roots of Excel. This is functions. Excel eats and drink functions and formulas. It's made up of functions and formula. Everything about Excel, it's about function. In fact, Excel derives its power and its strength from functions and formulas. Okay, so a lot of people argue that function is the same thing as formula, and formula is the same thing as function. Well, we already know, I'm not going to bore you with a lot of theories. I just prefer to go straight to the practical so that you can learn how to do this thing, because it's more important that you know how to do all of these things and not just the theories. But meanwhile, let's look at let's understand what is function and then what is formula. Then you can be the one to judge whether they are the same or not. All right. So you can decide whether the same or not. So let's look at a formula and function. It's a mathematical expression that performs calculation on a data in cells. It always starts with the equal to sign. We've met this a lot. In fact, all through the time, even this 3-year assignment, you used this function. In fact, all the time we've worked on Excel, we actually used formulas. Sorry, we actually used formulas even without knowing. All right. So example is when you have your A1, cell A1 plus AB, it adds the value inside. Remember from last week class, we talked about the content, the container. The cell A1 is the container. So whatever is the content of A1 is going to be added to content of A2. So it now gives you the value. That is simply a formula. So you're going to use the formula here now is your normal mathematical formula, which is plus. So you're going to use your plus to add these 2 things. But when it comes to function, it's a predefined calculation built into Excel to perform specific task. So function are used within formulas and have a set of syntaxes. So you're going to understand this in a short while when we jump into Excel. Example is when you use your sum. So instead of saying A plus B, you can just say A, add up the range, like all the range A through B. But when you use this range is when you have range of values. From A to B is a range of value. From A to C is a range of value. So A through B. So these 2 things will actually give you the same thing. It will add up the value in A and the value in B, while this sum here will add up the value in A through the value in the value in A1 through the value in A3. All right. So this is just basically, I don't know if you are still going to say they are the same thing at this point, but let's see. Let's go to Excel and see what we are saying. So if you have, let's say you have 3 values, you have 6 here, you have 5 here, you have 7 here, you have 4, and you have this here. So when you talk about formula and you want to add these things in this range, you can see that they are in range from This range here is from H5 to what? H9. So let's say we want to add them. You just put your equal to. Then you're going to say 6, this A, okay, let me not even, let me type it. You're going to say A what? A5 plus the value in A6, H6 plus the value in H7, then plus the value in this one and plus the value in this one. So when you add them up, it's going to give you 25. So when you click here, you can see what you did to get that 25. It is by the adding of all these things. So this is formula. The formula here is the plus sign. You're using this formula to add up everything here. Now, this is function. Function is same thing as, sorry, this thing has actually spoiled. I've removed it to, So this one gave us this, plus this, plus this, plus this, plus this, and plus this. Oh, okay. So let's look at the formula. This is a formula, what we just did now. Let's look at a function. A function is when you have equal to sum. You call up a function, they are pre-built. They've been pre-built already. So we want to sum up everything here, just call it sum. So this is how a function works. There are a lot of them. In fact, there are over 400 functions in Excel. Though we are not going to touch all of them, we are going to just talk about maybe 20 of them or 10 or thereabout. But just know there are over 400 of them, and you are not expected to know all these 400 functions, because if you come here, formulas, click on formulas, you can see all these things are different formulas. You can see in insert function, you can click on insert function. For example, we want to insert sum, you can just click on sum. And then you can see here, there are so many of them, sum, if, average, all this thing, you click here. So you can choose which cells you want to sum up, from cell this to cell that, maybe from cell 5, H5, to cell H, I think it's H6, H9. Then you just click on OK, and it's going to sum up that thing for you. So you can see there's this one, auto sum. We also have auto sum, all these values. You can see your recently used functions, and so many of them. So these functions, you're not expected to know all of them, but you must have to know the basic one, just like we've been using the sum. We've used sum countless time, we've used multiplication countless time, and we're going to be using more of them in this class. Now, some of this function cuts across different industries. You have the financial function, you have business functions, you have mathematical functions, you have so many of them. You have engineering functions, you have statistical functions and all that. So you're meant to learn and master the ones that's related to you or what you do. Because if you're working, if you're a financial analyst, for example, you don't have any business with engineering function. If you're working, if you're doing statistics, then of course you don't have any business with other function, even though they may come up, but most of the times you'll be using most of the functions that are related to, you have math and trigonometric functions and so many of them. All right. So you can see what we did here. We did sum, we used a function. So here we use the formula. Now let me use a function. How function work is that when you call it, once you start to type it, Excel will automatically suggest all the functions for you because they are inbuilt. Remember, they are pre-built. Then once you type sum, for example, now you can decide to complete it by yourself by, adding the parentheses, but Excel already suggests those functions for you to select from here. You can use your arrow key to go down and select the one that you want to use, or if you want to use sum, you can just come to sum with your cursor and double tap, or you can simply hit on your tab menu. Once you hit on your tab key on your laptop, it's going to select that one for you automatically and add the parentheses. So again, let me go back. Let me repeat. If you click on your sum, now Excel will suggest all of this thing, and it will not just stop at suggesting it. It will also tell you what each of them does. This is like IntelliSense. It will bring up all the formulas for you and also tell you what each of them, each one you select, it will tell you what it does briefly. Each one you select, it will briefly tell you what it does. Each one you select, just like that. So that's why I said you don't necessarily have to cram them. You just have to know that they are there in case you need them. You may not even know, maybe for example, you don't know that, okay, just remember that I want to add up these cells. You come here and type sum. Excel will automatically bring it up for you, and then you just select. So let me use my tab key to select this one. Now, Excel will still keep working with you to explain to you what to do in case you've forgotten, because it can take maybe 2 or 3 months that you've not used your Excel, and then you suddenly have a project that requires you to use Excel, then you come back and you've forgotten a lot of things. So Excel will still walk you through. Once you put in this, it will tell you the next thing to do. These things are called syntax, parentheses or arguments. Arguments, yeah, they are called arguments or syntaxes, sorry. So it will tell you the next argument that it needs. After writing the sum, it will show you that, okay, you need to add a number, the first number, put in the first number. So this is the first number here. I'll select it. It has seen the first number you selected. You say, okay, put a comma. Then you put a comma. It will tell you to put the next number. You put the next number. You put a comma. Tell you to put that just like that. You continue until the last one. Then it will keep asking you to put more. As long as you're okay, then you close the bracket. Once you close it, it disappears. It knows that the work is done, that you're good to go now. It will leave you alone, and then you continue by hitting enter. Also, even if you don't put this last parenthesis and hit enter, it will automatically close it for you and then do the maths. All right, but it's a good practice to always close your brackets in case you have a really large work to do. So this is exactly how function work. When you hit on it, it gives you the same value. Now, there's another way of doing it. You may not necessarily have to. Remember, we talked about range. So I can just come here and say sum. I'll double tap this one to select it. Then I'll go and select the range of values that I want to add. And then I'll hit on enter, or I'll close my bracket. But let me not close it now. Let me just hit on brackets. Excel will close it for me and give me the solution. So you see, this is what we did to get this value. We added everything by using formula. And this is what we did here by using function. And this is what we use here by using function as well. Now, there's another way again for here. There's something called auto sum. Since I want to sum everything here, Excel will look at everything here, and then I come here, I want to do auto sum. You can see auto sum here. You can use your auto sum to sum everything, but you can also use your key. I think it's alternate. If I use Alt, just press down your Alt key and press the plus equal to. This plus equal to here. If you plus it, it will automatically sum up everything for you. It will just automatically see everything on top and then sum it up for you. So most times when you want to use auto sum is when you have really large data to sum up and you don't have time to start dragging the range out all the way, you get. So you just use auto sum to sum up everything in that column up to the point where you need to add the final value. Do we understand, please? Let me know if you understand what we mean by functions and formulas. Please, I did not get, okay, the auto sum. All right. Kiki, please
Yes,
go
the auto
ahead.
sum. Yes,
Hmm?
it's the auto sum. Can you please explain again? The auto
Okay.
sum.
All right. So
Thank you.
the auto sum is all of these values. Remember, if we want to do the sum of these values, let's say we want to do this sum here, I will say equal to sum, then I'll do sum and then select all the range. Is that if I can decide to add it one by one by separating them with comma. So remember here, when I was doing here, I didn't use comma, I used plus for this one. But here now, I'm following this IntelliSense, this Excel IntelliSense. I'm following it. That's one way of doing it. Another way is just by dragging through the range. Just drag everything. Then you click on enter to sum it for you. But sometimes you have really large number of data that spans to almost the last cell. So imagine coming now to now, you want to sum everything, you come and start dragging it all the way to down. That's really not so cool. Though you may not need to drag all the way to down. You can just come to the column and highlight, highlight it. It will auto sum everything. There are so many shortkeys you can also use. You can just come here as well and click your Control Shift and drag down. It will automatically highlight all of them. Okay, let me do that. I want to do sum. Then I'll just come here, click on the first one, then click on my Control Shift and go down. It will automatically add it for me. It will automatically go down for me. I think, okay, I've added this 25 to it as well that we got before. That's why it's now 50. So these are different ways. But the auto sum I did is I come here, put it under the place you want to sum. I want to sum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I come here, I want the answer to be here. Let me bold in the answer so that we can see. I want the answer to be here. So all I need to do, once I'm here, I'll leave my cursor here and then click on alter. Like the alt function is after your Windows key, before the shift, the long key that you have on your laptop. I'll press that alt button down and then click on plus, this plus equal to. Automatically it will select everything and then I hit on enter, it will sum it for me. Make sure you must have to be under the place you want to auto sum. Let me do again.
Okay.
Yeah. So you click your alt, then equal to, enter. So automatically sum it up for you. So that's basically what your sum is. So I want to know if you understand what I did, everybody, before we can move on. Do you understand me? Can we move on? Okay. Auto sum. You still don't understand auto sum? I click on Alt, ALT, there's an Alt button on your laptop. Alt and then equal to. Alt and equal to. Don't worry, we'll still do it again. Let's just proceed. So that's it about formula. So now I want to ask you, from what you've understood, is formula the same thing as function? A lot of people argue that they are the same thing. They are interchangeably used. You can use any. Are they the same from your own opinion?
No, they are not the same.
Aribiton say they are the same.
They are not the same.
Why
They
do
are
you
not
say
the
so?
same.
Why?
I feel function is a collection of formula.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
the way I see it, functions are built in Excel already.
Mm.
And then the formulas you would have to do it. You know, you'd have to input it yourself to be able to do it. But with the function, it comes with a package. When they were doing the thing, they did it for you to make life easier for you without you struggling.
Exactly. So I also think that function is shorter, like it's shorter than imagine if you have this one we did is just short, it's just small. Imagine if you now have a lot of like 100 different cells to add, 100 rows. You now come and start adding them 1 plus K1 plus K2 plus K3 plus K4. But with function, it makes it faster. You just do your work and get going. Yeah, so I don't think they are the same. So now, this is what we are going to be doing. These are the basic function in Excel. Like I told you, there are over 400 of them, but we are going to be touching on just maybe 20, the ones that are really necessary or basic or related to what we are doing. When you now branch into your different career paths, maybe you want to do financial analyst, you want to do accounting analyst, you want to become sales analyst, depending, you can now focus on. So I'm not sure we are going to be able to finish all today, but I'm sure we can handle this number one. Maybe it's next class we can continue, but let's see what we can do. So we have the sum function. We have the mathematical functions. We have the conditional functions. and then, the conditional formulas, and then the logical functions as well. So the difference is basically, anyway, the difference is what they do. The differences are in what they do. So the sum function, like we've seen what it does, we'll have the average, we'll have the median, we'll have the mode, we'll have the count, the small, the large, the max, and then the mean. So we are going to use all of these things and you see how they work. Then we'll have conditional functions. So condition, sometimes you want to add up, you want to sum up a cell, but you don't want to sum everything in that column. You want to select some specific rows based on certain condition that has been given. Then you want to do that. You want to use your conditional, any of these conditional formatting. Then also logical formatting, sometimes logical function, sometimes you have logic. You say, okay, do this only when this is true. Or you can say, do this if this is this. That's when you come to logical, because it's logical. So, but let's start with the max. Let's start with the max function. So let's jump into our Excel. I'm actually going to give you, where is it? I'm actually going to give you assignments, but look at what we have. We have the mass function. We're going to treat on, this one is going, we have the mass function, we have conditional function. Then we'll have questions on logical functions, on text functions, and then lookup. When we get to VLOOKUP, okay, I'm still populating this one. It's not ready yet, but before we get there, it will certainly be ready. So let's see how far we can go today. So look at this table here. Maybe I'll send this table to you to practice with, or maybe when I give you assignments, we can do that. Now, this table contains, it is a transactional table. Transactional table. So once you see a table, sometimes when they give you a data set to work on or a project to work on, they may not tell you what the project is about or something. Sometimes you have to be just at a glance, as an analyst, at a glance at the table, you should be able to tell that this is a hospital data, this is a transactional data, this is an engineering data, this is a banking data, something like that, okay? Maybe through the jargons, through the language, something like that. So here you can see customer. Obviously, customer has to do with, or you can even see order. So it has to do with business transaction, right? So this is the customer ID. These are the ID of the different customers that came to the store. Excuse me. Hello? I'm back. I'm not waiting now. So sorry about that. So you can see this function here. These are the customer ID, the ID of the different customers. So each customer that comes to a store has an ID that is given to them to differentiate a customer. Then each order that was placed by a customer has an ID as well. Then we have the customer's name. I actually populated this data just not long ago. So I use our names here, as you can see. So these are your names. Then we'll have the products that they bought. I think everybody bought the same products. Then we'll have the units, so the quantity that the customer bought, the date that transaction took place. It's actually happened this month. Even in the future, we'll have people that bought on 20th of July. So what you're going to buy in the future, what Albert will buy in the future, we already have it here. Then we'll have the revenue. This revenue is the money that was made from this particular sales. That is the units sold times the cost of that thing. Then this is the cost of the product. So first thing that you do each time you get a data set, you need to understand the data set first. After knowing the domain that the data set is in, then go through each of the column. It will help you to understand how to, in case you're not given a KPI to use, it help you to know, okay, these are the kind of KPI I'm going to be getting out of this data as I walk through it. Okay, so now we know all the columns in our data. Then we'll have this question. Let's say your manager gave you all of these questions and say, okay, please quickly help me get all of these solutions. Once you solve this issue, then we'll be able to, understand this data very well. So So all you have to do is to jump into action, pick the first question, pick the second one, and solve them. So let's look at they say, what is the profit? What is the profit? So this is simply asking you to create a new column, the profits column, because you want to see when they say what is the profit, you cannot actually calculate the profit for all of them. You have to take them one by one. What is the profit for this one? What is the profit for this one? What's the profit for this one? Then you can now get the total profit, which is going to answer this question. What is the profit? So here we are going to create the profit column. Now, who can tell me how to calculate this profit? How do we get the profit?
Revenue minus cost.
Eh?
Revenue minus cost.
Okay. Revenue minus, great, that's true. Revenue. So this is the amount we made minus the amount we bought the product. Great, that's great. So we're going to do equals to, now we're going to do revenue minus the cost. Why is it like this? So we're going to do revenue is in G. I think it's because this thing is formatted as a table. I'll have to unformat it. So we'll have our G what? G2. Let's read it this way. Minus H2. Yeah.
H2.
Great. So this is going to give us our profit. You see? So because it's a table, that's why it's automatically populated. So, but let's undo that. We don't want them to do it for us. It's not gonna work. Okay. Aha. So let's do it this way. Okay, so because once it's a table, it automatically populates. So we've gotten this one. And I remember I told you to be able to get the rest, you don't have to repeat it, right? You just have to drag it down. But in case you don't want to drag it down, maybe you really have a very long data set that you don't have to keep dragging. All you need to do is just to come here, bring your black cursor. Once you come here, once you double tap, it will automatically fill it up for you till the bottom, to the last one. So I'll click on it, 1, 2, it automatically populate for me. So now we have the profit column, and then it says, what is the total profit generated? That's the second question. What is the total profit generated? So I'll just have to come here. I want to put my total here. So let's put something like total here. So this is going to give us our total. Great. This is a table. It's formatted as table. So it's going to be automatically populating everything. So now I want to calculate the total profit we made from all the transactions here. Remember all those things we did. So here we're going to use our sum formula.
Auto sum or something.
Of course. So we can use the auto sum. I'll just click on Alt equals to. Automatically, it adds everything for me. Now I have the total. Alternatively, I can also do equal to sum, the sum function. I'll click on tab to enter.
You drag.
Then I can just come here and select everything. Let's see if this is going to work. Let's see if it's going to work. It's not going to work because you cannot add both text. Once you do this, it's going to, even this place is a text. So it's not going to understand what you're trying to do. So it's not going to work. So let's do sum. Then, sorry, equals to sum.
You can still drag from the first number.
Yes, so drag from the first number. So we'll drag from here. Then we'll hit on enter. This automatically populates our profit for us. So now we know what our profit is, right? So the next question, you say, what is the average cost of chocolate chips? What is the average cost of chocolate chips? So sometimes you may wonder what is really average. Why do we even need to calculate average? But you know, and sometimes in business, you need to know okay, so sometimes we do not know. Sometimes the business wants to know how much are they making on the average. Like, because you want to know some months, there's definitely some months when you make lower, some months when you make super higher, sometimes you make super high profits, sometimes you make average, like moderate profits. So you want to know across all of these months, how much are we making? What is the average? So that we can say, as a bad reach, know how we will not go make so amounts. You understand? You can say, okay, that is your average. So let's look at something. Let me see. Let me explain average. Please, if you don't know all those your basic should we call it basic mathematics, like your mode, your mean, your median, you can just read them up. I may not be able to teach, what is mode or mean or median here, but you just need to read them up. They are basically very simple. So let's say we'll have this, and then we'll have this, and then we'll have this, and then we'll have this, just 4 of them. And we want to know the average. So what we'll do is to do equals to, we want to add this one, then we want to say plus this one, we want to do plus this one, plus this one, plus this, and plus this, right? So the average is going to be summation of everything. Oh, sorry. Okay. It's going to be summation of everything divided by all, right? So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're dividing it by 5 to get the average. The average is 5, right? So alternatively, we can just do equals to, then we use the average function instead of using that for average formula. When I click on this, then I'm just going to pick the values. Remember, we can also do this, comma, this, comma, this, but that doesn't really make sense since we already know how to use range. So we'll just use the range and then we'll hit on enter. It's going to give us the same average. So the average is just, someone is asking to join the class. Just use the link and join the class. Please use the link. Tell this guy to use the link. So the average is like the mean. Average and mean is the same thing, right? So we should know that. So we want to get the average of what is the average cost of chocolate chips. So you can see that everything we have here is chocolate chips actually. So we want to know the average cost, and this is our cost column, right? So we want to know the average. We'll come here. Remember, we can do equals to, we can now add everything and divide by number to get our mean or average. Mean and average is the same thing, but we don't want to do that. Instead of doing that, we can just use function, right? We'll do equals to a v. There's a function called average. And once you type it, remember Excel is going to tell you what it does. It returns the arithmetic mean. Average and mean is the same thing. So you're going to select this one. Then you select everything one by one. But now we know about range. So we use range to select everything. Then we'll hit on enter. So this is the average cost of our products. This is the average cost of our products. So this is not the total or the profit or whatever. This is average, like in between. Mean is called mean. All right. So this means if you add everything here and divide by the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. So if you add everything and divide by 20 to give you the average. All right. So I think, is anybody confused, please? I hope I'm not rushing. Let me know if you understand what we are doing. Do you understand the average?
Yeah, we are good.
Yes,
All right.
please. Yes.
All right. Great. So we are done with this one. The next one, say how many orders are there in the table? How many orders are there in the table? How many orders are there in the table? So when you hear how many, in fact, when you hear how many or calculate total, something like how many, they are talking about how many order was placed. So it's simply like counting the row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can literally see that there were 20 orders that was placed in this table, right? So you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can see that there are 20 orders that were placed even without being told. But then What if you have millions of rows? What if you have thousands of rows? You cannot count it. So you have to use formula, right? So there's a formula called count. Remember from our this thing, we have counts. We've done sum. Yeah, we've done sum. We've done average. Then there's count, the one called count. That's one we're going to use to do that how many. So when you hear how many, it means count. And Excel has it as a form, as a function. So we'll just call the count function, double click on it. Once you put in the function, it will tell you exactly what argument it wants. The argument is the first value. Put in the first value you want it to count. Put in the second value, the first value. So now we just want to select everything. So we can just select everything and then close our bracket. Since it is count, it is just simply going to count the number of rows for us, 20. Okay, I think there's an error here. Let's see. So it's just simply going to count the number of rows for us and tell us what the total number is. Let's see. Why is it giving us 0? Okay. Okay, let me count another row. There's something I want to show you here. Count. Help us count this row. Then close. Then it's going to give us 20. So we have 20 rows here. You can count any of the rows. Let me show you something again. You can just do count. See, I counted here. Remember, this is supposed to give us the sum. But because we did not use the sum function, we used the count function to count it. It simply ignored the figure inside and counted the row, number of rows. But there's a difference. When I tried to use this one, it wasn't working. If I try to use this one now, it's not going to work. Let me count. Let me show you. Let me use this one. Count. Let me use this one. Since it's counting rows, so it doesn't really care what is inside the row. Let's just use this one. Then count. Go. It's going to give us 0. So why? Because count only counts numbers. It only counts numbers. Because it saw number here, that's why I counted it. It saw number here. So if we want to use this one that is letters and not numbers, we're going to use count A. We're going to use count A. Look at the second one, count A. Then if I use this one, it's going to ignore whatever is inside and count the number of rows for us. So if I use figures, it's going to count. I can use count. I want you to know the difference because you're going to be meeting it a lot, both in Power BI and everywhere. If you use count, you're counting numbers. If you use count A, you're counting letters or text. Let's use text. All right. So here I would say equals to count. Once I decide on count, I click on count, I must have to choose a column that has numbers. I can't use this one because it contains letters, text. This one, I cannot use this one. I must have to use the one that has numbers. Then click on enter, it will work. Then if I want to count text, I want to use a row that has text. I'll use equals to count A. I must add that A. Then I'll choose it. Then I can choose anyone that has text. It will count it for us. Do we understand count? So we'll solve this one. What is the how many what one are we answering, Bikun? It says what is the average cost of chocolate chip? We've done this one, right? Average. How many orders
number
are
4.
okay, number 4. How many orders are there in the table? So we know that we have 20 orders, right? Then the next number 5 says, what was the most expensive order? What was the most expensive order? So most expensive, that means we have to go to cost. Expensive means sold, the amount it was sold. The most expensive order. So I think it's revenue. The most expensive order. So it has to be the revenue. The revenue, that means the order. This cost is talking about how much we bought the products from the market. So order, once you call it order, it means an order has been placed, it means someone has bought, and this is revenue is talking about the ones that were bought, how much you made from the orders that were placed. So we have to look at revenue, and it's saying what is the most expensive order. So how do we get the most expensive order here? At a glance, you can just, take your time to go through and say, okay, this is 1,460. This is okay. This is 12,000. It's actually bigger than this. So this should be the highest. Then I go down again and see, oh, that's a 19,000. Oh, okay. This is the highest. You see, you're doing guesswork. You eventually got it right. Now, imagine we have a large number of data. You won't be able to do that. So you need to use function to achieve that. So we are going to use the function called
max.
Yeah. So we're going to use max. So max and mean is actually going to give us, let me quickly explain that. So here we have something we call max and mean. So mean simply means the minimum value, while max means the maximum value. So if we want to get the mean here, we're just going to do minimum. Then it's going to say select everything. It's going to simply go through and just tell you the one that is the minimum. 3 is the minimum here. So maximum is going to tell you which one is the highest value. It's as simple as that. Then go through here. So what now happen when we have 7 here again? So we have 2 minimum and maybe 2 maximum. What is going to happen? Let's see. It's going to give us max. Then, equals to max. Then we select again. Then hit on enter. It's going to still give us 7. So what it does is going to pick the first one, the first highest value, and give you as the max. For the mean, it's also going to pick the first minimum value and give you as the mean. So when you're looking for the most expensive item here, it's simply asking which one has the maximum value, the maximum amount here. So, and to get that, we're just going to simply do equals to max. Then of course, let's highlight everything here, then see what it will give us. To give us 19, which is this last one. So it actually, Albert place the highest order here. He's kind of a premium customer or he's going to be a premium customer on the 20th of this month when he buys these chocolate chips. So he is the maximum, most expensive order that was placed in our store. Then the next question. So we can as well get the minimum order, the least. Let's see who let's see who is a poor customer. I mean, yeah, go ahead. But let me quickly do some. Go ahead, please, Mr. Success. Go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Well done, sir. Please, can you explain this most expensive order again one more time, please?
All right. So, we want to know which order is the most expensive order, like the order that was placed today. Who among all of these customers that we have here, who bought the most expensive item? So if you go through this revenue, you can see that the most expensive money here is 19,725. That's the highest amount. But you're going to have a lot of orders, So you can't really go through it with your eyes. You have to use a formula to do that. So since you're looking for the most expensive, the highest value, automatically the highest value here or the highest number under this revenue automatically translates to the most expensive order. Since here we're talking about orders, all right, everything under the revenue means orders that were placed in this store. So we are going to look for a formula that is going to help us filter through this column G, our revenue column, to find the highest amount or the highest value or the highest figure. Once we get that, that becomes our most expensive order. So they didn't ask of the most expensive product because we are talking about just one product, but they're asking of the most expensive order. We are not using this cost because this is the cost of the product that was sold. that we bought, sorry, then the revenue is actually the orders that were placed. That is the revenue. So we are going to do max, then close open brackets. Then we are going to look at, now it is asking us to put all the values that we want him now, the Excel, to go through and find the highest value for us. So put all the numbers you have here separated by commas, and the Excel will go through all of those numbers and then bring out the highest one for you, since you're looking for the maximum value. But there's no point putting these numbers one by one, since we already have the knowledge of range. So we just come here and select the range of values that we want Excel to go through and check out the biggest number for us. Then when we close and hit on enter, it will automatically go through this number and bring out 19 as the highest value. And this becomes the most expensive order because it has the highest value. So let's look at, and the person that bought this thing is Albert with customer ID CC, I think CC03. So Albert is actually a rich man because he bought an expensive item from our store. So let's find who is the poor man among all of us, because we don't want to be associated with poor masses. So we have to fish out the poor person here. Sorry, mean. So now we want to find the most poorest, or the most expensive. What's the opposite of expensive? Opposite of expensive. Cheapest. Cheap, right?
Yeah.
So we want to find the cheapest order here. So we use our minimum, and then we'll go through the revenue again, and then hit on enter. It is going to show us that 1,024. Let's look at who placed that order. 1,024. It was placed by Sinkala. So Mr. Sinkala is not our favorite customer, while Mr. Albert is our favorite customer because he's our premium customer, he's our VIP customer. Okay, so I hope you understand mean and max. So we use mean to find the highest value, and we use max to find the highest value, and we use mean to find the lowest value. Okay, so I believe we understand it. Can we move on, please?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, great. So now let's look at the next question that says, what is the second largest amount of units sold? What is the second largest amount of units sold? So this is the units sold column. Okay, first of all, let's look at the largest amount of units sold. We already know that we're going to use max, right? When we're talking about largest. So we go through the units sold column, and then we close and we hit on enter. It is showing us that the highest quantity sold is 3,000. Look at it, 3,945. Now let's also look at the lowest. This is the highest. Then let's look at the, oh, sorry, this is going to think that I'm doing something here. So let's look at the lowest quantity sold. So we already know that we're going to use our minimum, right? Mean to get the lowest quantity sold. So we go to quantity and we hit on enter. This is the lowest. So the first order here is the lowest order placed by Kiki. Kiki doesn't want to spend money in our store, so she placed just small order. While Mr. Abbott, being our highest and premium customer, bought a lot of this chocolate cheese, like he's doing party in his house, he's doing his daughter's birthday, so he bought plenty of this thing, chocolate chips. So after Mr. Herbert bought this thing, who is the next person that bought? Because we don't want to have only one premium customer, we want to have at least many of them. So who is the second? What is the second least amount of units sold? Okay, let's first of all do what is the second highest amount of this thing. So here we're going to get the second highest. We'll come here. Then what we're going to use now is large equals to, because max will just give you the highest and nothing else. So we are going to use large. You can see Excel has it. I'll just collect it, double click on it. Then I'll go to this place. I'll select everything. Look at the argument it's asking for. The first argument is array. What array of value do you want me to go through to find the second or the nth? So I've selected the array, which is this range. I'll put a comma. After the comma, it's now asking me what number. This K means number. What number of position do you, okay, this K means position or number. What position are you looking for? You understand? If I put 1 here, if I put 1, it is going to give me the highest, which is the first position. You can see it gave me the same thing. Now, if I come back to the formula and I put 2, it's going to give me the second position. If I hit on enter, it's going to give me the second position. You can see after this one, the next highest one is this one, which is Chris. Oh, I have money, I'm rich. You see, very soon I will beat Mr. Albert. So you see, it gives me the second one. If I want to get the third one, I'll just put the third person. I'll check 2, 4. You see, this person is Fumi. Fumi is the third person. So 3 of us are the VIP customer. Me, Mr. Albert, Chris, and Fumi are the 3 top customers in this shop. So you see, that large is used to get the position, like you put it. There's a difference between maximum, like mean. I want you to know the difference between mean and large. You get? These are 2 different things. Then you also need to know the difference between mean and small. So maximum gets mean, max. I was going to write max here. So max get the highest value and nothing else. It just gives you the highest value and nothing else. While large gives you position. You have to tell you the position you're looking for, because sometimes you may not be, your manager can say, okay, since we already have the highest, just like I demonstrated here, since we already have the highest customer, the premium customer, it is not really healthy for our business to have only one premium customer. We need to know the first and the second person in case. Imagine if Mr. Albert now travels, maybe our business is in Lagos, he now travels to Canada he wants to stay in Canada for 1 year. That means we are not going to make sales for that 1 year because he's our premium customer. So we need to know the second and maybe third premium customer, so that when Mr. Albert is not there, we can also can also put our focus on the second person and be using that person to hold body until Mr. Albert comes back, right? So we want to know the second highest person and the third highest person even, so that in case the first and second is not there, we can focus on the third person and bombard them with our marketing materials to keep coming to our shop until it's just like having a side chick, right? So in case your wife travels, you have your side chick around, to be happy and to be eating good food until your wife returns. So instead of, if you have only your wife, you're going to suffer until she comes back to wherever she goes, okay? And then, but if you have a side chick, which is the second position, you'll not bother too much until she comes back. But it's not good to cheat on your wife, or it's not good though. You have to be careful when you're doing all these things. So this is how you use large and small. So the question actually says, what is the second least amount of units sold? So we are looking for the second least, which is, we are going to use small. All right, the small. So we're going to say equal to small. Excel already have that function. So we're just going to pick it up and then choose this place and then add a comma. What are we looking for? The second, which is 2. The position is 2. Then we close and hit on enter. And it shows us that the second smallest after Kiki, the second smallest is who? Sinkala, of course. So you can see Sinkala. Do we understand this now, so that we can move on to the last one, and then I'll let you all to go?
Yes.
Yes, well understood. Yeah,
All
well
right.
understood. Thank you.
All right. Maximum express highest number of large. Okay. Okay. Yeah, sure. Number of time, frequency. That's correct. Okay. Max expresses highest number and largest. expresses frequency. No, you're getting it wrong, Mr. Musa. Max is not expressing highest. Yes, you're correct with max. Maximum expresses the highest number, but large expresses frequency. No, large has nothing to do with frequency. It's talking about position. First position, second position, third position. You know, when you're using max, you cannot decide the position that you want to see. Max and mean will only tell you the highest and the minimum, the maximum and the minimum. That is, you're limited with these two two function. You can only have the highest value and the lowest value and nothing else. So they have no business with those in between. Look at the highest one is 292. So max will give you 3945, while mean will give you 492. So what happens when you want to use anyone in between here? Like you want to find any value in between here. That is when largest comes in. That's when large comes in, and then small. Please, do you understand it, Mr. Musa? I want to be sure you understand it. Let me know if you understand it now, Mr. Musa. It's not frequency, it's just position. The position of... Yeah, go ahead, Emmanuel.
I have a question.
Okay.
My question is that after, let's say, calculating the maximum, the minimum, the large or small, then you get the answer. How do you locate the actual position without using your eyes, like to look for it? Let's say you are working in a project like more than 500 or 1,000, 1 million. How do you locate the particular position where it is in the sheet without using your
Okay,
eyes to
so
count
the
or to
question told you, to get, we are concerned about the value. You're not interested in position here, or let's say ask you where is it. You have a very large data that you don't. If you know if you care about the position, you could actually locate the position, but you care about the value. Your manager wants to see, out of this large number of data, how much is really the highest amount we've made here. What is the highest amount? It's just me that is trying to link it to maybe the name, or I just want to make the class, fun and all that. But we are really interested. When you get to Power BI, you appreciate this more, because Power BI is going to be pointing at the value, like pointing at KPI cards. You're seeing the exact amount that was made. Your manager is interested, or your CEO, for example, Dangote doesn't care about position or this and that. What he cares about is the value. What is the highest amount we are making from this cement industry? Are we making profit or we are losing money? Do you get? So you're looking at the value that you got, not really the position. Do you get? But if you care about the position, let me see. So we can actually still get the position. Maybe when we do formatting, conditional formatting, you can do something like let's see, conditional formatting. You can use conditional formatting. See, you can say, okay, any value that's above, let's say, a cell, highlight cells greater than any value that's greater than, let's use greater than, this is the, among these, then any value that is greater than, highlight it with red or green. No, red. Yeah, let's use red. Fill with dark. So cells that are greater than, okay, let me see. Reference cannot be used in okay, formatting. Change the reference to single cell. Okay, single cell. Adults. The thing doesn't understand what I want to do. Okay, let me highlight it again. You can use conditional formatting to say, okay, any cell that is this, top from bottom, top 10, highlight the top 10, database, color scale, icon sets, new rule. You can also set a new rule, but let's use a rule here that says less than, between, equal to. So this new rule is like that one that you want to point out. Any cell that is max or mean, color it with so. So at a glance, it will just color it for you and all that. But let me try this. Okay, you see, it has colored it red for me. Any cell that is between so and so. Let me see. Maybe 1,100. No, it's not giving me. Anyway, I think I will take that your question into consideration. I will look for a data set, or I'll frame a question that will be able to give us, point us to something that relates to what you asked. But I just want you to know that it's not something you should worry about, because there's no time you want to point out a particular value in your data set at a point. You just care about the value most of the time, but I'll still find a way to find a data set that we can use conditional formatting to point to and show you that. All right. Mr. Albert, you were raising your hand. Mr. Albert, do you have a question? Okay, go ahead. Mr. Musa. Yeah. Go ahead, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. How are you?
So, the main reason I said that I'm fine. So, I just want to say something relating to the largest or something that you just explained there.
Okay.
So, according to the question, which says that which customer patronizes us the most? So, and then when you do when you analyze the data, you made us realize that it was Mr. Albert. So which patronizes at the time of
That's the most
3,000 naira
expensive
45
order.
times.
Who plays the most expensive order? Yes, Mr. Albert. Go ahead.
Okay, the most expensive order. Not about how many times he plays the order.
Okay, let me answer the seventh question. We haven't done that already. Let me answer it so that you understand.
Okay, I have to say
So,
that.
Okay. Can I go on? Can I go, Mr.
Yes, I can go.
Okay. So, when you say most expensive order, okay, there's an argument actually. I think what he said makes sense, because when I say premium customer, if I have a supermarket and then I have Mr. Albert and then I have Joy, these two people are my customers, but Mr. Albert lives in Canada and my store is in Abuja here. But Mr. Albert comes back every year, every December. He comes back to Nigeria every December. So when he comes, he lodges in a hotel that's close to my store. So when he comes back, he will usually come to my shop and buy everything that he's going to use all through his stay in Nigeria. Everything, every grocery, everything he needs to use while in his hotel and while he's staying in Nigeria, which is going to run into, let's assume, 10 million naira. So at a spot, he's going to step into my store and buy goods worth 10 million naira, and then we'll load it and supply it to him. While Mr. Joy lives in Abuja, he doesn't live in Canada, he lives in Abuja here with me, and she shops in my shop. It's only my shop that she buys everything she needs all through the year. But Mr. Joy doesn't buy large, because she lives here. She can literally just walk in anytime and pick what she wants. Sometimes she comes in, she'll just buy something worth 5,000. Sometimes she comes and buy something worth 15K, sometimes 20K, 10K, 5K, just like that. Now, at the end of the year, if we do our analysis and join everything that Mr. Joy buy for throughout the whole year, it will be amounting to around between 2 to 5 million is what she bought all through the year. But she buys it, she's consistent. There's no day that Mr. Joy will not walk into that, Mrs. Joy will not walk into my store and buy something. So now, between Mr. Joy and but for Mr. Albert, he comes just that one day. That one day, he'll buy everything he needs. After that day, after his stay, he'll travel back to Canada till next year again. So between these two customers, who is our premium customer? Like, who is our premium? I want to get your own opinion, what a premium customer is, before I now explain what I want to say. So, who do you think is our premium customer?
Mr.
The
Albert.
one that buys every time and the one
That's
that buys
Mrs.
every
Joy.
day. Yeah.
Joy, right? Okay. Okay.
Mr. Albert.
Arbitron say Mrs. Joy is broke. What's so why do you say it's Mrs. Joy that is our favorite premium customer?
Because she always buy things from us. She always come. Why the other person buys once in a while? But she get almost everything she needs from us. Why the other person gets only what when he's around that he buys from us. But the other person buys every single thing from us. So that's why I chose her.
Okay, that's fine. So please, another person, what do you think? Who is our favorite customer and why? Yeah, Marco, go ahead.
Okay, so I think the premium customer, the favorite customer, is the one that regularly buys from us. That's the customer because the person shows his or her loyalty, and even though he doesn't buy it as much as the Abat buys, Abat bought huge in amount, but he's loyal and consistent in buying it. If you accrue what he buys, let's say in a year, you eventually notice that he buys higher.
Okay, so now when it comes to business, there is no emotion. It's about numbers. Mr. Albert comes to the shop and buys goods worth 10 million at a spot. But Mrs. Joy comes every day and buy 5K, 10K, 2K, 3K, 20K, 15K. And at the end of the year, everything she bought is amounting to between 2 million to 5 million. So our premium customer is Mr. Albert, and our favorite customer is Mrs. Joy. So if we want to gift customers, we are going to crown Mrs. Joy our most loyal customer, and our favorite customer because she comes all the time. She is loyal to our business. But if we want to give premium treatment or premium discounts to our customer, it is going to be Mr. Albert. Because in business, you care about the numbers. That a customer comes to your shop every day cannot make your business stand. Do you know that to maintain Mrs. Joy, you have to, because she comes every day, you literally have to be running generator every day. Cost of maintaining Mrs. Joy is higher, but Mr. Albert comes only once, and cost of maintaining him is just few hours. Maybe highest he's going to stay in the shop is just 1 hour, and he's going to buy something worth. So it costs us almost nothing to maintain him or to entertain him while he spends 10 million in our shop. So Mrs. Joy that comes every day, the profits you get from him out of that have 5,000, 10,000, 20K, maybe around 1,000 to 5,000 maximum. But Mr. Abat buying goods of 10 million, there's no way we're not going to make up to 3 to 4 million from that transaction. And it is in bulk. We get the money once. We can use it to invest. We can use it to restock, so premium or VIP is not based on frequency. Most of the times it's based on number. So if Mrs. Joy was coming to the shop and buy something of 1,500,000, 100K, at the end of the month, everything she bought amounts to, let's say, 10 to 15 million. Then obviously in all round, she is the premium and the most frequent or the most favorite customer as well. So this is just how it is in the business world. There's no sentiment, there is no nothing. It's just about the figures, the numbers. That's what businesses care about. Okay.
Thank you very much, sir. You've done justice.
Okay. We have some arguments. Say the person buying in bulk may never return to the store. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's another angle to it. But another thing with business is about risk. So it's a risk. He may never return, but if he ever returns, he's going to still buy a lot. Well, it's going to make a lot of profit from him. So because okay, now imagine that we are a store that entertains premium customers. There are some stores you go to, they will buy you drinks, they will take you to the VIP room, sit you down, even buy you food or chicken. So Mrs. Joy that is coming every day and we keep buying chicken how much is chicken and how much is she buying in our shop? But Mr. Albert will come once, we buy we'll buy the chicken for him and the malt, and we will recover the money instantly. Do you get? So he said the question is, who would rather lose between the both of them? Okay, who can afford to lose? We can afford to lose Mrs. Jo. No, we don't want to lose any of them, but if one person has to go, definitely would always prefer Mr. Albert. We prefer Mr. Albert to stick around to ever. In fact, at the end of the year, every December, we'll be praying and texting Mr. Albert. Oh, sir, how are you, sir? I hope you're coming to Nigeria. I hope you're coming to Nigeria this year. So it's not like we care about his coming or not. We want to make sure that he comes to shop and spend 10 million and all that. So that's why you see some girls, Nigerian girls. I've seen a girl that, called off his wedding with his man because he has an abroad returnee who is coming back and who promised her marriage, that when he comes back, they are going to get married. So, because you know that's a premium man that's coming. That's a premium man that's coming back and not his Nigerian boyfriend. So that's it about about business. It's actually about the numbers most of the time and not about sentiment. Okay. So let's talk about which customer patronizes us the most. This is different from what was the most expensive order. All right, I think I've explained this. So which customer patronizes us the most? We'll just come here at a glance. We can go to customer ID. Now, oh, sorry, I think there's a mistake here. This Kiki now is supposed to be, I was just inputting this number. I didn't really check. It is supposed to be the same Kiki here because it's the same customer actually with the same customer ID. So this one is supposed to be Arabiton. It's going to still be Arabiton. It's going to be, as long as the same customer ID. So you can see that this order was placed by Kiki with this customer ID. It is the same customer ID, still the same Kiki. This is the same customer ID, still the same Kiki. All right. So it means that one customer can place as many orders as they want. But if you notice the order ID, they are not repeating. Because when she came, she bought this thing the first time, she came back again. So each order is recorded as a different order, as long as she didn't buy it at the same time. If she had come here and bought 5 pieces at once, bought 3 pieces at once, it's recorded on that one order ID. But because she came 3 times that day, so it is going to be recorded as 3 different orders. All right, so now we want to check which customer patronizes us the most. It's simply just to count the number of customers and check who actually bought more times than others. So you can see clearly that Kiki bought 3 times here. She even bought again down here and bought again here. So let's look at number 5, which is Marco. This number 5 is supposed to be Arabiton. So Marco did not buy anything. So it was Arabiton. So Arabiton bought here. Arabiton bought here again. Arabiton bought here again. Arabiton. He also bought here. Okay. So let's check. You remember your mode in statistics when you're doing your mode. So you want to do equals to mode. This thing also has mode. Click on mode. So mode is simply the number of the order that appeared more times, right? Mode. So if I do mode here and I close, enter the few argument. Okay, it's giving us arguments, number, division. No, now mode is not supposed to require division. Mode, okay, look at it here. So we are going to select. So mode will simply tell you the one that happened more times, 7. It is 7 because 7 appeared twice here. Now 3 also appeared twice, but remember it will pick the first one that appeared more times. So if I have 3 again here, 3 now will win. If I come back here, if I do mode again, equals to mode, then I'll click on this. If I do it again now, 3 will win because 3 appeared more times. You see, it's now 3. So, but if they are equal, if 3 and 7 appeared, now if I bring 3 up, let me make this one, or let me bring 3 here and then make 7. You see, they are the same, right? Let's do mode again. Mode. You see, it's now 3 because 3 appeared first. It will pick the first one. So it is asking us which customer patronizes us the most. So all we need to do is just to simply check here. So we'll do mode equals to mode. Then we go here and check all the customers. So we can see, oh, I think it's let me see. Mode is requesting for numbers, and this is not number. Oh, I just hope it works. Okay. NA. Okay. I was supposed to use number. Mode is working with number. It's just, and this is not numbers. Let's see if we can do something to it. Mode works with numbers. So assuming we'll have let me just create another column here. Assuming what we have here is 3, 3, 3, 4, 2, 5, 1, 5. Okay, this is 5, 1, 5, 5, 2, 4, 1, 5, 4. 4, 3, 4. Then we have 5, 6, 3, 2. All right. So let's assume that these are customer ID. So we're just going to do equals to mode. Then equals to, then we'll select everything here. Then equals to, so you can see 3. So these 3 means that 3 appeared more times. You can obviously see it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 appeared 6 times, while 5 appeared 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times. I think that's highest. So 3 appeared more times. Mode is like counts, but counts everything, while mode counts the most frequent or the most occurring number. That's what mode gives you, the most occurring number. All right. So I think we've answered all the questions, and we've already spent all our time. This is already 10 p.m. So we are supposed to stop at 10 p.m. on the dot. So in the next class, we are going to look at the conditional functions. Like we're going to look at the conditional functions. We're going to look at our sum if, average if, count if, mean if, and all that. Then we're also going to look at our logical functions, which is if and or. That's amazing. So that's the end of the class. We're going to stop here so that we don't overuse our time. So we're going to take some questions in case you have any before we call it a night.
Please, the assignment.
Okay, maybe I'll post assignments in the group. I'll drop assignment there in the group. But maybe it should just be around what we've done here, just because I wouldn't want to go into conditional and logic when we've not done it. We'll do that on Saturday. So I'll send you these data sets so you can use it to solve the assignment that I'm going to give you. I'm just going to reframe all these questions and then send it. So Marco, please go ahead.
Okay, sir. When we did our second highest value revenue, when we started that one out, what if we are asked to create a column that arranges the values in order of maximum hierarchy? Yeah, exactly. In our revenue, how do you sort that out? Which function do we use?
To create a column that tells you, that means you have to do it one. Let me see. You can come here and say, okay, equals to large. Here, you want to have the large. right? So you want to do the array. You want to use revenue.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to just select revenue, and then, so here you want to have the first one.
Yes.
So you close it. Because this is a table, that's why it's populated. So we're just going to clean it. Don't mind this thing. So here we want to have the second highest. So you do large, second. So revenue, here second. Then yeah, doing equals to, so you want to have the second one here. Second. Then here the third one, just like that. Large. I think maybe you can drag down. I don't know, it may be able to populate the rest for you. Equals to. Then here you want to have the third one. Close. So let's see if it's going to populate. I'm not sure. I haven't done this before. Come here. So I think it worked though. Did it work? So this is the formula here.
No, it didn't work.
Here I did 1. Here I did 2. Here I did 3. Here, no, it did not work. So you have to do it manually. So here you're going to have, it didn't work. But this is something you are asked. This is what you mean, right? So here,
Yeah,
but there's really no point. I don't think there's any point. But then here you're going to have large. So the array is going to be the revenue. Then here should be fourth, right? Fourth, and so on. So this is the you can see that this is the highest here. This is second highest, third highest, fourth highest, fifth highest, just like that. Do you get?
Yeah, good, sir.
Does it answer your question?
Can we just use the sort function?
What? Sort.
Sort.
Yeah, we'll get to sort. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we've not gotten to that yet. All right. So I believe there are no more questions. Let me check the chat. Yeah, sure, sort will work. Okay, guys, I think we'll call it a night. Tomorrow, I will drop the assignment if you want assignment, but I don't think, anyway, I will drop assignment to be sure that you understand everything we did. All right, so I'll see you guys on Saturday. Good night. Bye.